She had come so far, from heartbreak to healing, from betrayal to rediscovering love. Serena was finally living the life she dreamed of: a loving husband, a home filled with warmth, and now the sound of tiny feet on the way. On her gender reveal day, joy filled the air. But within moments, everything changed. Because the name she whispered became a trigger for something unspeakable. She had always wanted a quiet kind of happiness, nothing flashy, just a home of her own, people she could trust, and a future that felt safe. Serena had finally found that. After years of detours marked by betrayal and heartbreak, she built something steady with a man who loved her, and he did love her, at least in the beginning. Andrew was calm, respectful, and deeply spiritual. Friends said they balanced each other, Serena's sensitivity matching Andrew's reliability. When they first met at a volunteer event in 2020, life was uncertain for everyone, locked away behind masks and isolation. But something about that moment felt like hope. 2 years later, on a warm spring day, they stood before friends and family, promising each other a new beginning in marriage. The past was behind them, they said, and the future felt wide open. When Serena found out she was pregnant, they cried together with joy. A baby wasn't something they had planned just yet, but they embraced it like it was meant to be all along. They joked about nursery themes, swapped baby name books, and shared dreams of what kind of parents they'd be. It was the kind of start Serena had prayed for after everything she'd been through. A redemption story, or so it seemed. Before we dive deeper into this unforgettable video, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon. That way, you'll never miss any new coming videos like this. Now, let's get back to it. Family and friends watched lovingly as she planned the gender reveal, the kind of event she never used to be excited about. But this time was different. Serena wanted to celebrate, to show the world she had survived. No one could have known it would be her last moment of joy. Long before she became a wife, a mother-to-be, and the center of a tragedy, Serena was just a girl with big dreams and a quiet strength. Born in 1991, she was raised in a modest home just outside Dallas, Texas. Her childhood was ordinary: family dinners, school plays, weekend chores. But at the core of it all was a deep belief in loyalty. Serena was the kind of person who remembered birthdays, showed up when you needed her most, and never walked away from anyone she cared about. That loyalty shaped everything, including the friendships she held closest. The most defining one was Diana Bright. They met in high school during a group project in junior year. After one study session, something clicked, and they stayed side by side through prom nights, college applications, and late-night coffee runs. When they got accepted into the same college, it was a dream come true. They became roommates, shared everything from textbooks to heartbreaks, and were often seen as a package deal. If you invited one, the other showed up too. Their bond seemed unbreakable until Victor Y entered Serena's life during college. Charismatic and smooth-talking, he had an ease about him that made people listen. Serena was drawn in slowly, unaware that this new connection would cost her the friendship she valued most. Victor and Diana got along a little too well, but Serena, believing in loyalty above all, never suspected betrayal. That trust, all-consuming and deeply rooted, would later prove fatal. She trusted too blindly, forgave too willingly, and when she arrived unannounced at Diana's apartment one fateful Friday and saw Victor wrapped in her best friend's arms, the world she knew crumbled in an instant. 2 betrayals in one room, and a lifetime of trust destroyed. The betrayal hit Serena like a car crash, sudden, violent, and impossible to process in the moment. One second, she was holding takeout for a surprise movie night. The next, she was frozen in her best friend's doorway, watching the 2 people she trusted most wrapped in something far beyond friendship. Victor didn't deny it. Diana tried to explain, but the damage was instant and irreversible. In the days that followed, Serena disappeared from her social circles. Calls went unanswered, texts were left on read. She deleted her social media accounts without a word. Friends were stunned. Everyone had assumed she and Victor were headed toward marriage. Everyone thought Diana was her forever friend. What no one fully realized was how deep Serena's sense of loyalty ran, and how utterly shattered she felt when it was all ripped away. For her, betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual. It made her question everything, including her own judgment. Her parents tried to comfort her. Her sister suggested therapy. Slowly, she sought help. She began rebuilding piece by piece, but the heartbreak clung to her. Even holidays were hard. The ghost of that Friday evening haunted her for a long time. During that recovery, there was one source of quiet comfort. A small brown puppy Victor had once gifted her before the betrayal. She named the dog Cass back then, short for Cassidy, but also as a symbol of starting fresh. And when the relationship collapsed, Cass stayed. Through the tears, sleepless nights, and hesitant steps toward healing, that dog became her shadow. "You're the only one who never left," she would whisper. Cass was her therapy, her anchor, her reminder that life could still offer kindness. She didn't know it then, but the name Cass, so innocent, so healing, would one day be at the center of chaos once again. By 2020, Serena kept her social life minimal. She worked from home, avoided gatherings, and told herself solitude was safer. It wasn't just the pandemic that kept her home, it was the fear of trusting again. Too many smiles had proven false. Too many people had said one thing and done another. But life has a way of placing the right people in your path, sometimes when you least expect it. Andrew Walker wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, he was calm, soft-spoken, and most importantly, steady. They met at a community food drive arranged by Serena's cousin. She hadn't even wanted to go. "I'm not trying to be around strangers right now," she said, but she owed her cousin a favor. 1 hour, she told herself. She didn't expect to meet someone like Andrew there. He noticed her immediately, not for her beauty or her brokenness, but for how quietly she stayed in the corner doing the work. He simply introduced himself. "Hi, I'm Andrew. Thanks for helping today." No pressure, no charm games, just presence. Over the next few months, they ran into each other at more events, masked, distant, but somehow still connecting. It took time. Serena was cautious, but Andrew didn't push. He just kept showing up. With each small piece of trust she handed him, he held it gently. When she told him about her past, about Diana and Victor, she didn't expect empathy. But his response changed everything. "That's not on you," he said. "Betrayal says everything about them and nothing about your worth." That moment cracked something open in her heart. For the first time in years, Serena let someone in. And for the first time in a long time, she began to believe that love, real love, might still be possible for her. Andrew made her feel safe again. Certainly, here's ***part 5* of your long-form video script, written in ~300 words, continuing the emotional momentum and voiceover style. In November 2021, under a gray autumn sky and surrounded by the golden leaves of a nearby park, Andrew took Serena's hand and made his feelings unmistakably clear. "I know you've been through things no one should go through," he said, holding her gaze. "I can't erase any of that, but I promise I'll never make you question your worth again." Then, from his coat pocket, he pulled out a small ring box and opened it. Serena's hand flew to her mouth. Her eyes welled with tears. It wasn't just a proposal, it was a second chance at life. And through trembling words, she whispered, "Yes." They married quietly the following spring, a modest church ceremony with close friends and family. Serena looked radiant, not just in her dress, but in her spirit. Her smile that day was different, genuine, full of the hope she thought she'd lost. Her father gave a toast during the reception, choking on tears as he said, "She found a good man, that's all a parent could ever want." The first months of marriage were warm, gentle. Serena and Andrew focused on building routines, strengthening their foundation, and learning how to blend two lives gracefully. They planned to travel before starting a family. "Let's explore the world before we bring a new one into it," Serena once said with a laugh. But life doesn't always ask permission before changing plans. In the summer of 2022, Serena began feeling different, tired, nauseous, a little off. A pregnancy test confirmed their world was shifting again. When she showed Andrew the results, he didn't hesitate. He grabbed her by the waist, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "We're going to be parents." They were nervous, sure, but more than that, they were ready. At least they thought they were. Certainly, here's ***part 6* of your long-form true crime video script, written in approximately ***350 words, with the emotional *** turning point fully developed as requested. The news of the baby changed everything. What had once been quiet evenings and slow mornings became doctor's appointments, weekly check-ins, back-and-forth discussions about car seats and future daycare options. Andrew, ever the planner, dove into this new role. He budgeted more tightly, researched parenting books, and accompanied Serena to every appointment. To anyone watching, it was the picture of a devoted husband and father-to-be. Serena embraced her pregnancy slowly but with deep affection. She later told her therapist, "After everything I survived, this baby feels like proof that I'm not broken." She began dreaming big. Nursery colors, lullabies, even baby names. That's when it started, the conversation that would quietly divide them. One night in early winter, while flipping through name books at the dining table, Serena said softly, "I've always loved the name Cass." Andrew paused. "You mean like your dog?" His tone shifted. "Yes, but not because of that," she answered quickly. "It's more about what that name meant during the hardest year of my life. Cass was my lifeline. Naming our daughter that, it would mean something to me." But to Andrew, it meant the opposite. He saw it not as strength, but as a bridge to the past, one wrapped in betrayal and pain. And worse, possibly, as a silent link to Victor. "She's not a memorial," he said sharply. "She's our daughter, not a tribute to your ex or a dog or your trauma." They argued. For weeks it lingered. Serena backed off, but the name stayed with her. Somewhere inside, she believed Andrew would change his mind. He never did. And then came the reveal party. Blue and pink balloons, family gathered in the yard, laughter echoing through the air. When the lid lifted and pink balloons floated upward, Serena, glowing, stepped forward and said with pride, "We're having a girl, and I love the name Cass." The guests clapped. Andrew didn't. He stood frozen, jaw clenched, watching the scene unfold. And in that moment, something inside him snapped. It wasn't joy he felt, it was betrayal. The very name he had forbidden had been spoken, not in private, but before everyone. And he would not let it go. Certainly, here's ***part 7* of your long-form true crime video script, written in approximately ***350 words, continuing from the turning point and capturing the horror and aftermath of the attack. At first, no one understood what was happening. The smile had faded from Andrew's face seconds after Serena said the name. Some thought he was overwhelmed, maybe emotional. Others assumed he just needed a moment alone. He turned without saying a word and walked briskly toward the kitchen inside the house. A cousin followed, gently calling his name, but he didn't respond. Behind him, the party had continued, laughter, clinking cups, the soft hum of music. Serena stood in the center of it, still glowing, unaware that joy was about to turn into chaos. Inside the house, Andrew opened a drawer with force. The sound of metal clattering filled the room as he pulled out a kitchen knife. He gripped it tightly, moved with purpose, and stormed back outside. The cousin following him gasped, shouting, "Andrew, do!" It was already too late. Gasps rippled through the yard as he reappeared, knife in hand. Serena was mid-laugh when she saw him. Her face froze. Her hands instinctively covered her belly. "Andrew, please." But he didn't stop. He lunged. 1, 2, 3 brutal strikes. Serena stumbled backward, collapsing onto the grass, blood quickly staining her dress. Screams erupted. Guests darted in every direction. Children cried. Serena's mother fainted. A group of men tackled Andrew from behind, pinning him down as he raged beneath them, shouting through gritted teeth, I told her never again." Friends rushed to Serena's side. applying pressure to the wounds, sobbing, shaking, whispering desperate prayers. Paramedics arrived within minutes. Neighbors watched from porches in stunned silence. Serena lay motionless, her face pale, a friend holding her hand and whispering, "Stay with us." But the damage was done. She was rushed to the hospital with no time to spare. The doctors worked furiously. But within the hour, both Serena and her unborn daughter were pronounced dead. A celebration of new life had turned into a double homicide, an act of rage born not from passion, but from pride and control. And the man who once promised to protect her had taken everything instead. Of course, here's ***part 8* of your long-form true crime video script, written in approximately ***350 words**, serving as the conclusion and reflective aftermath of the tragedy. The community was shattered. Neighbors who once saw Andrew and Serena as the perfect couple now stood behind yellow crime scene tape, stunned into silence. Church members lit candles. Family members clutched photos and ultrasound prints. No one knew how to process what had just happened, how a joyful afternoon could morph into an unspeakable crime over something as small, as fragile as a name. Within days, Andrew Walker was charged with first-degree murder and fetal homicide. At his arraignment, he showed no emotion, no apology, no remorse, just a quiet, vacant stare. The prosecutors wasted no time building their case, and the evidence was overwhelming. Dozens of eyewitnesses, digital messages, prior arguments, and most damning, his own words. "I told her never again." Serena's funeral drew hundreds. Her casket, white, was adorned with baby pink flowers. A second, smaller casket rested beside it, one no parent ever dreams of seeing. During the eulogy, her father stood with trembling hands and said, "My daughter loved deeply, and for that she paid the ultimate price." When the trial began, prosecutors painted Andrew as a man consumed by pride and control. They read out text messages between him and his brother where he threatened, "If she names the baby that, I swear I'll lose it." The jury didn't need long. He was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life in prison without parole. But that, of course, won't bring Serena back. It won't give her daughter the chance to live, to grow up, to carry the name her mother believed symbolized strength and survival. What began as a love story became a chilling reminder of how unchecked emotions, humiliation, pride, control, can turn a home into a crime scene. Serena's story may have ended in tragedy, but her voice doesn't have to. If her story moved you, let it be more than a headline. Talk about it, share it, because sometimes the smallest choices, a name, an argument, a warning ignored, can have the biggest consequences. And maybe, just maybe, sharing her truth could help stop another tragedy before it starts.